Hello and welcome to Healthify Happiness. I am glad that you have come to our channel, and today is the today is the first episode actually, because yesterday we shot our introductory video wherein we told you that we will be sharing information about stress for a period of 30 days. You would be wondering what is there to talk so much about stress. Actually, stress is a vital topic for today's world, and that's why we decided to come up with it. Without much ado, I will ask Shubham to tell you what stress means.
Well, when we tell about stress, the stress has a very deeper meaning, and that is the reason we have decided to cover the entire journey from distress to distress in 30 days, right? So, for this, we need to understand what stress is all about. See, the stress is like any change that is caused by your physical, emotional, or your psychological reasons. Not only this, it's a state of worry or any mental tension caused by any difficult situation. Whenever we come across any difficult situation in life, immediately we get stressed up, right? So this is nothing but the change that has happened due to this situation in life. The next thing is that it is a body's response for anything that needs your attention or action. Say, for example, you have anxiety or some pain in the neck. So, this
Yeah.
pain in the neck can be because of some underlying stress or underlying anxiety. So, the body is giving the response that here is a pain, you need to work on it. So, this is basically a good factor or the good reason of this response that we can see in the body.
And you know what? Our bodies have been designed to handle stress. Just imagine you see a cobra in front of you and you are not stressed out. What will happen? You are not afraid of a train approaching you and you just stand on the tracks. What will happen? We go to the exam hall because we have some stress and we perform well if the stress is healthy. Now, when I say the stress is healthy, the question comes, what is unhealthy stress? Unhealthy stress is nothing but if you are constantly exposed to stress, unwanted, unrealistic, unhealthy stress, then there are permanent damages in your body and mind. That is what we should be avoiding. There are ways and means by which we can identify stress. I again request Shubham to tell you more about it.
We all know about autonomic nervous system.
Correct.
Our breathing, our heartbeat, our visions, these are controlled by autonomic nervous system. When I say autonomic nervous system, that is something that we cannot control at all, right?
Right.
You cannot control your heartbeat. You cannot
Right.
decide that from tomorrow my heart will not beat. So it is not possible, right? So this is called autonomic nervous system. Now, when there is a built-in stress, the response that happens is the flight and the fight response, right? Whenever you face any stressful situation, your body gets into this mode. Let me give an example. She was talking about cobra. I will give an example of a tiger. Suppose you are going through a jungle and you come across a tiger in front of you. The first thing that you will do is that you will either run away, most of us will run away, right? And few of us, like Tipu Sultan, right? He can fight the tiger. So now this is nothing but the response of our body, the because of the stress that caused by seeing the tiger. Now that is the real tiger. We are having this unreal tiger day in, day out in our life, and that is causing stress. Let me give you a small example. Nowadays, there is a lot of layoffs happening, right? We all know it's very unfortunate. I was also part of the IT world, so I'm quite familiar with this. When these layoffs happens, we are tensed. Now, suppose you go to your office and suddenly you got to know that your HR manager is calling you. The first thing that will happen is that he will think that you will be laid off. Probably he might call you for a promotion. But the first thing that will come in your mind is that you are being laid off, and immediately your stress level will increase. Your body will get into the fight and the flight mode. Now, this mode is actually, it is good when there is a real situation, but when there is unreal situation, it is really bad. We'll get into the details of this in our future episodes. This is a very long topic to
Vast
discuss.
topic,
Yes,
actually.
it's a very vast topic, and there's a lot of implication of this body response. So we'll discuss on this later on. Now let's try to find out that when we are exposed to this stress, this chronic stress for a long time, then what are the changes that happens in our body? Our body goes through a wear and tear. We need to identify what are those changes that is happening due to the long exposure of stress. The first thing that happens is that we have difficulty in sleeping. We all know about insomnia, right? A lot of people suffer from this. This is because of that person is exposed to a very prolonged stress. Next thing is you feel nauseatic, your muscles get tight, right? You have dry throat, right? We all know this. When we experience stress, automatically our mouth gets dried up, right?
Sweaty palms.
Sweaty palms, yeah. There are many things like this.
You know what? Even the heart rate goes up. This is a very common response. We start shivering. And over a period of time, like he said, insomnia, this happens over a period of time. Over a period of time, you actually develop irritability. You are not working towards your goals. You are not performing in your life. You start to gain weight, especially around the waist, because you are looking at food for relief. There's a lot of science behind why people get overweight. Some of them get overweight even while eating the healthiest food on earth. So it's a huge subject. We shall cover it slowly one by one.
And let me tell you that even the child is also now exposed to stress. Yes. Let me give you statistics. Our suicide rate has increased a lot from our last review, and children's suicide rate has increased to 35%. It's a very alarming figure. Every 2 hours, 3 students die due to suicide. This is nothing but due to stress. And that is the reason we are coming up with this episodes of stress. Now we need to understand that how the stress starts, because when we try to identify the root cause of stress and we can mitigate it at the root level, then we won't experience stress at all.
Or we might mitigate it to a large extent. It becomes controllable. It comes to a level where it is actually good for us.
Right. First thing is we need to understand our brain chemistry. Whenever any person is exposed to stress for a very long time, then there is a chemical change and a structural change that happens in the brain. Now, this is called chemical neuroplasticity and structural neuroplasticity. We are going to cover these two topics in details in our later episode. It's a vast topic. The second one is our past experiences. We might be having some traumatic past, some painful memories we might be having that is causing stress. The third thing is our family history. It might happen that somebody in our family members are suffering from a severe hypertension, and that is causing us stress.
He just said family history. Now I'll say genetic factors. And you, my viewer, might feel, why these are two separate topics? Family means genes. No, dear, not always. You know what? Every thought and experience we go through can actually cause our genes to change.
The expression changes.
The expression changes. Now, there was an experiment done on rats. You can Google it out. It is beautiful. Where a rat was not getting its mother's love and it got stress and then it passed it on to the future generation. Just imagine. And when those kind of rats who were actually stressed out, they were given caring mothers, the gene changed because the forthcoming generations were all stress-free rats. This is beautiful, right? So, family is one side, and the other end is your genetic encoding, which you are doing every moment. Then there could be real medical condition. I would like to discuss something personal here, although I know this might not interest you. But the case of my husband, he has got horseshoe kidney. And because of this condition, which he got since birth, he has high BP. Now, because of NLP, we have learned that the BP can be controlled, and by God's grace, he has controlled it. Thank God NLP exists. And also, I would like to add one more reason which is important. We all are different, our natures are different. Some people are hypersensitive. So that also leads to a lot of stress. Some people would think, oh, I want everything perfect. They call it perfectionism. And that is also a reason of stress because in this world, hardly anything is perfect, my friend. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Now we have already understood what stress is all about and what are the reasons of having stress, right? And now we need to understand that how people are managing this chronic stress. I am not advocating that whatever this response to stress is right, but this is a real fact which we see in our society, that these are the response that we see from people who are exposed to this stress. Some of them are like smoking, drinking,
Correct.
taking drugs. People are engaging themselves in gambling. They are overeating. So these are the few
They
things.
are abusive. Some
Yes.
people are into compulsive relationships. When they enter one relationship, quit, and they enter into the similar kind of relationship, it is all because of one thing, stress, and you can call it anxiety as well. So, in our next episode, we will be covering more about stress, and slowly we shall be sharing with you how you can get over it. How can you be in a better position so that this team of Healthify Happiness is able to contribute in your life in a better way to take you towards a healthy and happy future.
Make sure you don't miss tomorrow's episode. It's very important.
Take care.
See you tomorrow.
God bless.